Kenyans are calling on the National Treasury and the Ministries of Energy, Petroleum and Agriculture to address, among other issues, the following. Noting that there exists a consumer protection mechanism to cushion Kenyans from adverse fluctuation in fuel prices, this mechanism is financed by the taxpayer at the pump through the Fuel Levy Fund. We ask, where is the 39 billion shillings Petroleum Development Levy Fund meant for the fuel subsidy program as this crisis deepens? The Auditor General has already raised questions on the irregular and illegal diversion of these consumer protection funds to state agencies and unnamed private entities. She has also decried abuse on the petroleum import system in favor of some preferred and politically connected oil marketers deliberately depriving Kenyans of the subsidy mechanism. Can the Treasury also confirm or deny that the diversion of funds has been used in debt servicing and infrastructure development without the approval of the National Assembly? Can the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum list the import quotas that have been allocated to oil marketers over the last 1 year, and which are these oil marketers by name? The people telling us about Ukraine and Russia are also telling us that there is no shortage of fuel. They are also trying to blame oil marketers. So they are even conflicted in the reasons why we have an artificial crisis in the country. From their own statement, they are not sure of what to say. Is it because of the war in Ukraine, or is it because of the crisis with our oil marketers? Which is which? And that goes to tell you that this crisis is orchestrated, and it is as a result of the cartels and barons who have taken over, using conflict of interest and state capture in our economy. I mean, a straight answer would be, how come that fuel in Uganda is cheaper than fuel in Kenya? So, and yet the fuel being sold in Uganda goes through Kenya. That tells you that that kind of explanation is escapist and has no basis whatsoever. We should address ourselves to the crisis that is there in the country and the monopolies that have taken our fuel and economic sector captive.
Na hiyo mafuta inapitia Kenya ikienda Uganda. Jameni, unaweza kutueleza vipi ati bei ya mafuta hapa Kenya mahali ni karibu na mahali mafuta inatoka iko bei juu kuliko Uganda, na Uganda inachukua mafuta kutoka hapa kwetu? That is the explanation that Kenyans want to know. The corruption cartel at the Ministry of Petroleum should explain to Kenyans why dealers have increased their profits from 9 shillings to 12 shillings. Why the ministry is protecting the whole market and operates now like a cartel that is hurting the ordinary people of Kenya, to the extent that fuel products in Kenya are more expensive than fuel products in Uganda, and yet the same fuel products come from the same destination, pass through Kenya before you go to Tanzania, or even you go to Uganda. The people at the Ministry of Petroleum have questions to answer, and the corruption cartel in the Ministry of Energy must be broken for the prices of fuel products to come down. We must say it unequivocally that there is no other reason. It is not even about the taxes. It is about the corruption in the Ministry of Petroleum that is aiding a few companies to make super profits while the ordinary citizen in Kenya is suffering high prices. The cartel at the Ministry of Petroleum Products must be dismantled for fuel products, their prices to come down. And we expect it to happen yesterday. We do not expect it to continue because there is no reason why fuel products in Kenya are higher in terms of price than in our neighboring countries. Yet the fuel products pass through Kenya to those other countries. So watu wasiendelee kutupigisha story ati imekosekana mtu ya kujibu. Inakosekana mtu ya kujibu namna gani? Na tuko na a whole state department that is responsible for matters to do with petroleum in Kenya. So we want first the market must be liberalized. We cannot continue to have a market that is protected for the benefit of a few people making super profits and millions of Kenyans suffering at the hands of a few companies that are making super profits and are being protected by a cartel at the Department of Petroleum in the Ministry of Petroleum and Mining. We must dismantle that cartel.
We must reject these attempts to increase the price of petroleum product because that will increase even the price of electricity and therefore will increase the cost of production.
Yes. This is the issue. Who advises this government? Who are the real advisors? In terms of economics, in terms of finance management, leave alone politics. Politics we can deal with later. But who advises this government?
Please, the transport sector, the way you understood President Uhuru Kenyatta and never went on strike just less than 5 years ago, that is the same way you should understand President William Ruto because he's in office. Why did they feel that it was okay to understand President Uhuru Kenyatta, but when it is President William Ruto, they should go to the streets? You should ask yourself, why did they not stop their vehicles just less than 4 years ago? And why is it that in the administration of President William Ruto, they have stopped their vehicles from coming to the streets? There must be something. There must be a certain level of profiling that applies to William Ruto that does not apply to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And the guess is as good as your guess is as good as mine. If you will give us credit for those who are opposed to the administration that time, you must give us credit for using constitutional means and using the floor of the House and giving alternative suggestions to how to handle the fuel crisis. We never organized one protest, no life was lost, no supermarket was looted, no person was targeted to be killed as a result of the higher fuel prices less than 5 years ago.